All right, welcome in everyone. You know what it is. We're here for One Piece chapter 1164, and I have not been spoiled, but I did hear that it's a super hype chapter, which honestly, like, at this point, I already kind of know going in that it's going to be a top tier chapter, but nonetheless, I got as many warnings as any of the other hype weeks, so I'm super looking forward to this. But before we get into it, I do have a couple quick announcements. First off, major shout out to everyone because we finally hit 100K subscribers. Thank you guys very, very much. It's honestly kind of hard to believe. It happened earlier this week, like Monday morning, and I normally don't wake up early, but for some reason I woke up like at 6:30 in the morning, and I looked at my phone, and I was like at 99,996, and I was like, all right, that's crazy. Like, I don't know why, the universe woke me up then, but it happened. So major shout out to everyone for that. Just want to say a major thank you. There will be kind of like a celebration stream later. I'm going to wait till I get the play button, and then we'll have a stream. I'll invite some people in. We'll be doing some giveaways, of course, which we'll be doing some of those, or at least one in a video as well, but you'll see that in the video whenever it drops. I'm not sure which video yet, but yeah, so there's going to be some celebrations later once I get the play button, but just for now, just want to say thank you to all you guys, seriously. That's something I never thought would happen, so thank you. We're actually almost at 101 now, which is pretty cool, so thank you guys, seriously. But other than that, the other announcement I wanted to say was I'm a little behind on the TCG giveaways for members, but that'll be in the next 2 or 3 days for sure, because we have another crazy set dropping next week. And so whenever I do get the play button, we'll be opening that next set that's like super crazy. It has the Gorosei cards and all that. Oops. We'll be doing that, like I said, whenever I get the play button. So I don't think I can even order the play button until next week, and then it'll take a couple more weeks. So maybe Thanksgiving time or so. So either way, thank you guys. Just want to say a big thank you. So I didn't notify the Discord. So mods are able to do that if one of the mods wants to. Tainted Marth with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you very, very much, Marth. I appreciate you, brother. Welcome in. I actually saw that you went live like an hour ago, and I was thinking in my head, like, I wonder if Marth is going to be able to come stop by, because usually it's the other way around where you react after me, so I usually pop into yours. So I'm glad you could be here, man. Thank you for the donation, seriously. Brandon King, Lee J got one. Hey, major shout out to Lee J for drawing the thumbnail for this stream. I asked him last night because I didn't know when the chapter was going to release, and I didn't have like a good thumbnail, and he pumped out this awesome artwork of rocks for this. Like, he just did it this morning, I think. So major shout out Lee J. He's the GOAT for sure. Captain Golden Boy, my guy, $100 for your 100K. I'm so proud of you, dude. Captain Golden Boy, W's in the chat for my boy. Captain Golden Boy was one of the first people or first creators that I befriended whenever I got started. And, we've been keeping tabs with each other ever since. And so it really means a lot that you just came in and did that, man. That you just made my day. That's amazing. W's in the chat for my boy. Thank you so much, Golden Boy. And, we're still waiting for you to drop a couple more videos, my man. I think last time we talked, you said something like, you had some idea that you might be pumping into a video. So, the people are waiting, man. The people are waiting. I know you've been busy, but either way, thank you, Captain Golden Boy. That means so much, bro. Seriously, thank you very much. You're the GOAT. I see a lot of W's in the chat from my boy. Thank you, everyone. Also, I don't want to miss these, but just earlier, Kush Daddy also had a super chat. $2 said, Panama or Ain't Talking About Love by Van Halen. So I did do a little review before the stream, because I did not, like, I've definitely heard those songs, but I didn't really remember them. And honestly, I don't feel that strongly about either of them, but I'm going to go Ain't Talking About Love because the guitar riff at the beginning is iconic. Like, that was my big takeaway from listening to him, as I was like, oh, I forgot how good that opening guitar riff was. Not that Panama's bad, but that kind of sold it for me. So, good question, though. Van Halen's pretty solid. And then Quanidin with the $2 super chat. 12 out of 10 chapter, maybe higher, I don't know. Happy Halloween. Oh yeah, happy Halloween, everybody. I kind of forget about Halloween because, like, technically it's today, but, like, it's really the day you trick or treat, at least in my mind, which, like, I don't trick or treat anymore. Although I'm not opposed. I mean, I would take some candy, but sadly I don't do it anymore. So I always forget, but you're right, it is Halloween. So thank you. Thank you for the super chat, and happy Halloween to everybody else. And Quantin, you said 12 out of 10. Usually you're right on the money, so I'm pumped for this chapter. Like I said, I already knew coming in this was going to be hype, but if you're saying 12 out of 10, that's a good sign. And then Juvial Grace, member for 5 months, said, good time to be a One Piece fan. It's the best time to be a One Piece fan right now, you know, like, because not only for the manga, I mean, that's the biggest thing for me, because this is the driver of all the other things that we like about One Piece, whether it be, you know, the live action or the anime, or I was going to say video games. I don't know if that really hypes anybody up, but trading card game, you know, this is the driver for all of it. But the fact we have all of these things going right now, you know, the TCG is popping. We got live action season 2 coming. What is it? March 10th, I think they announced. So anyway, Q1, or is that technically Q1? We got January, February, March. Yeah, so Q1 of 2026, which is good. So yeah, no, One Piece fans are eating for sure. I mean, and I'm sure you guys have seen, even the One Piece flag is getting, you know, waved around at a lot of the global protests and, you know, revolutions going on and stuff, which, like, that's a whole other can of worms. But the simple fact that the One Piece fandom is that big is kind of insane, right? Like, One Piece fans got it good right now for sure. So, all right. Anyway, thank you to everyone. Thank you again, Captain Golden Boy, for the $100 super chat. You're the man. Thank you, Tainted Marth, Quanidin, Juvial Grace, Kush Daddy. Appreciate all of you and everyone who subscribed over the years. It's kind of crazy, but we got a chapter to read, don't we? I know, we got a hype chapter to read at that. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Any other super chats that come in, we'll get to it right when the chapter's over, but it's time to lock in on One Piece chapter 1164, Davy's Blood. So I did see this title when I was setting up the stream, as I usually do. And at first I was like, my mind went a bunch of places, and then I was like, well, I mean, we're already on the island with Davy's family and stuff, so I don't know. But I mean, we'll see. This chapter is going to be hype nonetheless. But we're going to start off with a cover request here. Perona chasing a rabbit with a pocket watch. Okay, interesting. And then we got little rabbit ghosts also. And I like how Mihawk's expression up there is kind of hilarious. He's like very distraught by this. This rabbit also reminds me of the one from Whole Cake. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but I think you guys know who I'm talking about. I don't know if that's who it's supposed to be, but it just says a rabbit, so. Vex, I did see in the chat, you said, notice how he didn't show a particular rabbit. Oh, yeah, you're right. That is very true. I wonder why that is. Although he does have a lot of other rabbits, which is interesting. Okay, real quick, I'm going to post it in the Discord. Because I did tell a couple people they could do this if I ever forgot, but they might not be here, so I'm just going to do it real quick. All right, there we go. Did I put the right link? I hope so. Okay, I did. All right. Anyways, so yeah, interesting cover. Also, Bushido, I see. I'm trying not to look at the chat, but I couldn't help myself. Rabbits with the carrot. Yeah. Hey, I don't know if Carrot's ever going to join the crew, but you know, Oda's at least throwing the Carrot fans a bone right now for sure. But all right, into the actual chapter here. I'm trying to just play. Oh, here we go. Trying to play some OST in the back. Well, you guys shouldn't be able to hear it, I hope. Yeah, you guys can't. All right, perfect. So we're picking up right where we left off last chapter with Rocks getting Domi Reversi. We're in the same kind of situation with like Emu, you know, up tall with the, you know, stabbing Rocks through the body and all that. And it's kind of cool that Emu's still like healing, right? You can still see all like the damage kind of fixing itself. Rocks got hit with Domi Reversi. Rocks, our attacks didn't even phase that spider thing. And we saw all the goats, you know, looking at this very confused. What in the world? How obstinate. You shouldn't scoff at humans, you beast. Wait, so Davy D. Jones, that's the name of the previous king of the world. Very interesting. I got a lot of thoughts on that. But it's very interesting that Rocks is still like here, right? It seems like he's not fully taken over yet. Okay, I like this. I like this little twist here. Insolent fool. That wretch was never king, not for a single moment. Thou hast no place in the fate that binds Mu and Davy. then you shouldn't be so scared. It's just a name after all. Okay, hold on. We're starting off hot here. So Davy was the previous king of the world. That wretch was never king. Thou hast no place in the fate that binds Mu and Davy. That's the level of hype of this chapter. Then you shouldn't be so scared, haven't you? Promise. They shall never resurface, so found the perfect soldiers now. A certain nation of gentle and indecisive giants. Mu has found... giants, you bastard, stay away from unity. A sovereign this pliable deposition is quite similar. Now make haste. I got a lot to take away from all this for sure. Like, this is crazy. This is... We're getting some major Void Century lore right now. But, like, it's kind of cryptic, but definitely some major stuff. I see people saying lag. I'm not really sure what I can do in the meantime. I mean, I'll just... It stopped. It's lagging hard for me. Like the stream, it'll clear it up. Yeah, I don't know what I can really do, so... it still says I'm live on my end, so... Yeah. It's back. We back. I'm just gonna wait. My Streamlabs says I have no problems, but... You know, this happens sometimes, so I don't know what to really do. It's good. All right, I'm gonna keep moving whenever I see it's good. Thy current deposition is quite similar. Now make haste. Put an end to Davy's dream. Put an end to... I mean, I feel like I'm gonna keep having problems. Well, I heard myself. I know I'm caught back up, but I don't know if it's gonna keep doing it. You know what I mean? I don't want to. I know it says it's back, but like, how long until it does it again? You know what I mean? I'll move another couple inches, but Schloop, starting a new stream won't help. Sadly, I've done this enough times. All right, I'm just gonna keep reading. I'll just keep an eye on the chat. I hate when this happens because it not only does it ruin the focus, it's just like for anyone watching, even the VOD, it's gonna be kind of helter-skelter. But all right, what the Rocks? So Rocks is getting fully turned Domi Reversi style at this point, I take it. Damn it, I'm fading. That's interesting. What happened? Did it do something up to you up there, or did it do something to you up there? Huh? And so now we got rocks turning, it looks like. Annihilate Davy's lineage with thy own hand. Snuff out all obstacles on God Valley. Is it me, or are you bigger? Out of the way. Their blood must be purged from the pages of history. So Rox... So it's interesting that Rox fought it off for a little bit first. I think that's kind of incredible, but... See, now he's jumping up to Kaido. Rox, what are you doing? He's grabbing Kaido's mustache and just threw him into the ground. Okay. Kaido... Damn you, Rox. Aren't we meant to be allies? What's he about to do to Big Mom? He's about to cook Big Mom. Oh. Wow, Big Mom got sent right back. You know, see, Whitebeard. We're in your way, Rox. You... Wait. We're in your way, Rox? You are... Okay, that's a little confusing. Is it... Okay, I think he's trying to say, like, wait, are we in your... Or, like, are you're in our way? No, you are, I think is what he's kind of going for, but... Okay, that's interesting. And so we see Domi Reversi Rox and Whitebeard clashing. Hockey everywhere. Whitebeard looks stressed out. You can even see kind of this explosion on the left side of God Valley. I wonder if that's going to knock the mountain down. Huh. Run, the mountain's falling. There we go. Right there. Half the mountain just fell. Okay. And now we got Rox running. That's kind of crazy. That whole side of the mountain fell from that clash. That's actually... You know, I was wondering... I figured that was going to happen at some point. Because also part of the island becomes Thriller Bark probably. So I don't know if a chunk of it's going to get broken off or something. But... All warships at the northeast coast have... And it got cut off. Get away from the island. All ships pull back. Okay, this is kind of crazy. Northeast coast. That was close. Who was responsible? This unforgivable act must be punished. Everyone, hurry. Don't set sail without us, or you'll all be put to death. Okay, so now these Marines are like risking their lives to wait for the Celestial Dragons to get on. So they're giving up on the cleansing at this point, like, for the most part. Like, you know, these people were all ready to go, and now they're asking to leave, so I'm guessing... We know Garland gets called the champion, so I wonder if he just has the most points and then they ended it. Kind of like whenever a game has like a really long delay in the second half or whatever, and they just call it for whoever was in the lead, maybe something like that. Southwest region. Come on, Rayleigh. This island's toast. Roger's safe, right? Treasure. Isn't this incredible? Whoa, it's a dead end. Move it. Damn it. I couldn't even save one tiny baby. Where did he go? So here's Dragon kind of reckoning with what happened. Wait, Kuma, give it a rest. It would be too risky to keep trying to save people. Kumachi. There might still be more people out there. See, Kuma's such a Chad for this. Oh, found one. Is he about to go find Dragon? Is he about to go find Dragon? Damn that Gonzui. Shiki. Asshole, you'll never make it off this island alive, you hear? And we got Shiki over here just flying away with the treasure. Gee, ha ha ha. No one gets the drop on me. Everyone to the coast. We need stretchers. We can't. The forest's on fire. Damn, okay. I kind of like some of this backdrop with, like, the Rox crew, I guess, betraying or, you know, going for their ulterior motives, like, in the midst of all this. I think it's kind of telling of who they really were. Oh, now Rox has already found Eris and Teach. That's crazy. Zebek, he looks so... You lost? I'm sorry, it's our fault. You faced that thing to save us, even though you weren't ready yet. Weren't ready yet? Because of the fruits that he wanted? I'm guessing? Teach, we have no choice but to jump into the sea and swim. I won't let the Davy clan end here. So it's I'm very interested that she's saying we have no choice but to jump into the sea and swim. Is that implying that that's like a safe place from the Domi Reversi people? You know what I mean? Like, can he not go in the water or something? I won't let the Davy clan end here. We'll survive, no matter what. Escapees spotted on the coast. Oh my god! So they have cannonballs coming from one end. We got Rox about to cook them. We got the cannonballs. Oh no. Kuma with the... See, bro. Kuma is such a Chad. That's insane. Like, look, he's about to get hit by all this, isn't he? Yo. Kuma jumping in to save the day. Yeah, Trevon, you just said it. Kuma's literally the best character in fiction. This is insane. This is like, I've been thinking about doing a Kuma analysis recently, and I really want to do it, but I've been debating like when's the right time to drop it, because like you know, we're still getting some Kuma information. Like, if Kuma had actually died in Egghead, it'd be easier, but I've been waiting for the right time. This is the kind of stuff why I'm glad I waited. Like, oh my god, what Kuma, that's unreal. I thought he was going to go save Dragon, which made a lot of sense because the way, and also the way Oda kind of paneled it. But instead, it's Eris and Teach. That's... I can't... Kuma's such a Chad, man. It's hard for me to even comprehend how many W's this man has. Like... Because we already knew that he saved 500 people, right? 500. Like, because Kuma or Ivankov mentioned it, or Jenny, I forget, one of the two. And here he's saving Eris and Blackbeard. That's just, that's insane. Davy, next, extinguish all who remain on the island. It's cool that he keeps calling rocks just Davy straight up. Vice Admiral Garp, please hurry up. I told you to get the hell out of here. How long are you gonna stick around? Roger, where are you? I'm fine. Let me know when everyone's aboard. Stop it, Rocks. Rocks? Why does he look like that? Dude, Rocks is such a man. Like, this has to be one of the strongest entities that we've ever had in One Piece. You know, like Rocks was already really strong, right? I mean, he was already among the top tiers, but then you add the Domi Reversi thing over the top. Like, this Domi Reversi to Rocks that's flying around, like these poor pirates and citizens on the island and stuff, like they stand literally no shot. Bring it on, Rocks. And we got Garp and Roger. Love it. Davy? What the hell have you turned into? I won't let you go after my crew. I love this. The two goats standing up to him. Roger, Garp, this voice. Please. Wait, so... Oh, it's oh my god. Roger, Garp, this voice, please. What's with that expression? Please. Kill me. Oh my, dude. The climax of the God Valley incident, no break next week. Oh my god. Okay, so the way that Rocks, like, the way that he's communicating telepathically is insane on its own, right? But then the fact he's like kind of fighting through the transformation, but not really, where he's like, please kill me. It's like something else took him over, and like his true self inside is, you know, talking to them. Like, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Like, the real Rocks is stuck in there and can't do anything, or something like that. This is such an awesome, like, climax. This panel in the bottom right here of this final double page spread with Rocks standing in front of Roger and Garp is one of the coolest panels I feel like we've ever gotten. Like, the final one where Rocks is jumping at them is pretty cool, but that one to the bottom right is even cooler. Like, that should have been a giant double page spread, I feel like, because that is just... that is one of the coolest panels ever. Like, Rocks looks like such a badass. But then this whole please kill me thing, dude, that, oh my god. I'm really glad the stream stuck through it. I was going to make a comment partway through, like, are we looking good? But I just didn't want to jinx anything, so I'm glad that the stream did not get back to the lagging part. I did see some people say that OBS was doing this earlier this week too, or YouTube, so it might not be my fault. It's somewhere along the chain of server connections here. There's definitely an issue. I don't think it's... I did an internet speed test before this, and I was fine. So I mean, maybe it's the people outside working on stuff. I don't know, but I'm glad it's still working. But either way, yo, Quinton, you said 12 out of 10 or maybe higher. Yeah, definitely. Like, this is an insane chapter. There's so much to speak on. So it seems like Let me go back up here and reread this. So, Davy D. Jones, the previous king of the world. And then Emu coming in saying that wretch was never king, not for a single moment. That's some interesting backdrop where, like, was Davy the king or not? Or, like, relating it to, like, a Pirate King title, is it, like... I mean, maybe somebody could reason, like, oh, well, Roger wasn't ever king because he couldn't even use the One Piece. Like, or something, like, that kind of thing where, like, he is a king, but he's not. I don't know if that's maybe where this is going, or maybe Davy was just a false king to begin. Like, maybe he literally was named king, but it was somebody else. Like, I don't even know how to read this, to be honest with you. Major shout out GG for the 5 gifted memberships. W's in the chat for GG for sure. I appreciate you. Thank you. And I want to say earlier there was a donation as well. Knack Talk gifted 5 memberships. I don't know if I don't think I mentioned that one earlier. But thank you very much, both of you. 2 goats right there, Knack and GG for sure. Appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. Good timing. But yeah, this king thing I think is very interesting. And then down here, I wonder who scares you most. Davy D. Jones, Joy Boy. And then Emu's like, cease this babble. They shall never resurface so long as thou fades into oblivion. And so it makes it feel like they probably are 2 different people. But then I think some people could also maybe reason it like oh, which name scares you more? Like, you know what I mean? But they're probably 2 different people now, I think. And then also this Davy, Mu has found the perfect soldiers, a certain nation of gentle and indecisive giants. And then later Emu says, thy current deposition is quite similar. So Rocks is a lot like the giants, I think is what Emu's saying, which builds that Rocks in Herald connection up even more. Because, like, they both are aiming for a more peaceful future, I guess, is what Emu's going for. That, you know, because we've had this whole debate, like, is Rocks a bad guy or not? And he's definitely done some bad things, but would he be as bad of a leader as Emu? I doubt it, because it's hard to be a lot worse than Emu. So that might be kind of what it is. Like, Rocks wants to be king to make the world not suck as bad, sort of thing. There's, like, so many takeaways from this chapter. Like, this... Not to mention just, like, the general hype of... just, you know, Rocks, you know, going around doing this. Kuma, the Kuma moment. Can't say enough about Kuma right now. Also, Trevor, I saw you had a super chat about... Let me find it. In the panel before Dragon's Crying, you can see Baby Shanks snoozing in the treasure chest. Let me go look at that real quick. I saw that whenever I was streaming, and I didn't want to stop at the time. But, oh, the ZZZ! The ZZZ! Oh, my God, man. I didn't even catch that. That's crazy. So that's Shanks in the treasure chest, and this is how he gets over there. Oh, that's kind of peak. That's a cool way for Oda to show it, to have the subtle ZZZ coming out of the chest. I didn't even see it. Oh, I love that. Thank you, Trevor, for saying that. I definitely missed it. Oh, man, that's cool. And so also, now that we know that Eris and Teach both got saved, which is very important, I think, now we think back to the Leloucia thing, because you know how Kuma has like that whole like where do you want to go on vacation thing whenever he sends people away? I'm sure that he's sending them to Leloucia. Now, the funny thing is Kuma's only supposed to be able to send them the places he's visited, right? I think that because we saw in the flashback where he visited all the islands, he sent the Straw Hats. So I don't know if he's been to Leloucia, you know, like that's what she was probably thinking, is like, please send me over there, you know. That's where she would want to go on vacation, I guess, at least. Yeah, and like whenever Whitebeard was there, and that builds onto like the, you know, the Ace cover story where we're still alive, right? Is Eris Mosa? I almost said Moda again, which because the Leloucia honestly wouldn't be the craziest thing. But is Eris Mosa? Now that Eris lived through this, I feel like the odds of her being Mosa went way up. And, you know, like, her being called Shaggy or whatever, like, that was, like, meant to imply, like, there's a lot of hair or something crazy about her hair. And, I mean, she does have kind of interesting hair, so I don't know if that's it. I don't know. But now that she's alive, I feel like the stocks on that went way up. But either way... Either way, I'm going to get into the super chats. I'm sure you guys have some theories to cook on. Also, Trevor, I saw you just said Oh snap, you hit 100K. Did I miss a stream with it? No, I got it on at the very beginning of this stream. I said thank you to everybody, so you may not have been here yet. I haven't had a stream, like any kind of celebration stream, because I'm gonna wait till I get the play button, because that won't happen until 2 or 3 weeks from now. I don't even know. Like I haven't been able to order it yet. I haven't gotten the option, so I don't know when that happens, but there will be a stream later though. But thank you, Trevor. I appreciate you, my man. Thank you. But all right, let's go ahead and get into the super chats real quick. I'm sure you guys have some theories for me to hear here. Let me see. Bushido, I read that one. Lonely Mage member. Wait, okay. Knack Talk earlier, member for 16 months. Like the stream, get memberships, and then you already made good on that promise, I believe, because you gifted 5. So Knack, I appreciate you. And Knack, I'm going to be contacting you probably tomorrow about that light that I seem to just be unable to install at my house, so we're gonna figure it out. But thank you, Knack. I appreciate you, brother. Lonely Mage, member for 35 months, dude. Almost 3 years. That's crazy. I was actually thinking about this the other day, where I started making content 3 years in, like, that's, I don't know, we built an awesome community, I guess, is what I'm, I don't know if you guys could hear, that was a really loud truck outside, but the fact that we built this kind of community and it's been around this long, I think is amazing. So Lonely Mage, thank you. And I know you have a super chat later. I'm just going to jump to that right now. What'd you say? For $10, you said the whole Emu or Joy Boy or Davy dynamic is an ancient Luffy Sabo Ace relationship that went wrong. I like that. That's actually, I like the setup of that. I might have to think about it a little more, but I like that idea. Emu, Joy Boy, and Davy are like Luffy, Sabo, and Ace, but they're kind of like antagonistic with each other now. And it's interesting because, like, you think back to Sabo, like, they thought he died, but he really didn't, and then Ace did die, and I wonder if there's a story there between, like, I don't know. I like that. I would want to hear more context. I don't know if you have more, or if that was just, you know, the, like, where you kind of started, but, like, if you have more context, definitely let me know, because then who would be Emu? Like, maybe Sabo, because Sabo was born into nobility, and then Davy is like Ace, which could maybe work. I don't know. I like that idea though. I'd have to think about it more, but I like where you're starting there. Let's see, Mr. Bushido with the €5. I think the cover hints at Mihawk being half Celestial Dragon, which I completely agree with. Stay tuned for a video soon. Not that that alone is, you know, like a brand new idea, but I feel like because of this flashback and some other stuff we're seeing, I think that is almost guaranteed to be true, as well as a bunch of other characters. Rabbits represent the slaves, so Mihawk is a rabbit, aka slave. Perona equaled Nerona, who chased Mihawk Rabbit. That's interesting. You know, I don't tend to look into these cover requests that much. I know there's a lot of theories that people make off of them that are pretty interesting, but for me personally, I never really look at them. But that is an interesting way to think about it, where it's like, you know, Perona, she even has that little bat. Does she normally have that bat tattoo on her arm? I'm not even sure, but that makes me think of Emu, because everyone grows the wings or whatever, right? Whenever they get Domi Reversi. But it is interesting. Yeah, you have the rabbits, and like she's going after him, and the Mihawk's like kind of sussed out, like, don't do this, like that's not cool. That's an interesting thing. I think as the story goes on, these cover requests will probably hold more secrets than maybe like the beginning of the story, as with a lot of other things. Because now, I mean, Oda's got, you know, I mean, wait, is that, did they, hold on, give me 1 second. Is that, I think I just noticed something. TCB, not a huge deal, but you did misspell Ichiro Oda. You put 2 H's. You put each hero Oda, but hey, that's all good. I just want to make sure I wasn't going crazy whenever I looked at that. But that is interesting, Bushido. And I do agree that Mihawk probably faced a cleansing, or at least lived on an island that agreed to join the government and then had the celestial tribute, because he looked pretty like disheveled as a child. I don't know if that means he's been in conflict or he's just been poor or whatever, but I think just like how Garling, but some probably agreed to join because they didn't want to get cooked, or maybe for them they thought it was a better deal than not being allied because they get marine help or whatever. And so Mihawk's, I think, is kind of a 50-50. I could see either way, but I do think he is probably from an island just like that. His origins are probably similar to Shanks, I think. Let's see. John Stoops, member for 18 months. My guy. Let's see what you got to say. Can't stay, but this chapter deck. Oh my, good luck, dude. Yeah, this was a peak chapter. I mean, you saw with how Emu was trying to mess with the stream early on, mess with the transmission, just like Vegapunk. That's always a sign that it's a banger chapter. But Rox is gonna get turned into a demon by Emu and go around and just cook Kaido and Big Mom. And then that's actually who Rox and that's actually who Roger and Garp fought. But guess what? Rox is going to be begging them to kill him the whole time. I'd be like, bro, okay, look, that's cool, but like, that's too many theories packed into one. But no, it legitimately, that's exactly what happened. This is some of Oda's best work, guys. Like, maybe I'm just biased because this flashback is so awesome, but this is like I know One Piece as a whole is Oda's magnum opus, you could say, but I almost feel like God Valley is the magnum opus within the magnum opus. Like the way that he set this all up, it doesn't even involve the Straw Hats or anyone who's not anyone who's alive, because like Garp's still alive, but a lot of these people are dead or just irrelevant, and like, I don't know, man. Oda's on another level. So yeah, John, this chapter, I wish you could stay. Maybe you'll check out the VOD, but this was something else. Bushido with a couple euros in a row. New SBS. I don't know if you guys can hear anything that's going on outside, but like, I have a lot of construction going on, and I don't think you guys can hear that. But people keep honking, because if I ever like look over at a random time, that's because somebody is just laying on the horn. But yeah, I'll look up those SBS answers right after this. Actually, I'm very intrigued about what those say. I've been debating doing. I don't know if I will this week, but I've been debating doing a video on SBSs whenever they come out more often, because, I mean, for one thing, that's just like good content to make, but usually there's a lot of theories, and I feel like as the SBSs have gone on, there's been more and more important info in the SBSs, so like they're kind of almost video worthy at this point, so I'll look at those right after this for sure. Then you also said, I think my 2D clan theory gained ground, same with the Garp, Rox, and Roger clan theory, or even 1D clan, but 3 parts to it, kind of like Luffy, Ace, and Sabo, and how they even said like Sabo is like Sa-D-Bo thing. So maybe there is like a repeat of that in a way. Maybe that is what the D clan is for. I don't know. Okay, I see a couple people said I see the lag thing. I'm just gonna wait a second. I don't know if it's gonna kick me off or not, but hopefully construction hitting your Wi-Fi cables, probably. Okay, it looks like I'm good now. I keep whenever I refresh, I hear myself right away. Not that I think you guys are lying, but every time I refresh, other than once, I've heard like the last thing I said, so I know it's not lagging, but I don't know. Hopefully it's all right now. But let's see. So, and as far as what do I think happened to Blackbeard's mom, definitely went to Lelucia. I don't know if she's still alive or if she's Mosa. Like she might just be dead. I'll put it this way: she's either dead or she's Mosa. That's where I'm at. I think it's the fact she's called Mosa and Moda is from Lelucia and is like one of the probably the most well-known Lelucia resident until this all happened. It's just one letter. Maybe it's not a big deal, but it does make me think that there might be a connection. Trevor, I read yours. I appreciate you. GG, it's just some stuttering like Amon Ra cooking a cornerback. Hey, if I'm like the sun god, I'm not gonna complain. But yeah, sadly, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I just refreshed again and it's working. So I'm not, maybe refresh, but Mr. Bushido, Kid is the new era Davy Jones. Your boos mean nothing. I mean, I feel like if there is like a, trifecta situation going on with like, people are paralleling like the Ace, Luffy, and Sabo thing, I feel like Blackbeard would have to be the Davy Jones of this era, then Luffy, and then who, I don't even know who the other one is going to be, honestly. Like, there's like a handful of people it could be. Like Kobe kind of makes the most sense because at least he's like a Marine. I don't know. I mean, I do think Kid's going to be connected to him, though, for sure. For sure. John Stoops with the $5. As sad as this is for Rox, Eris, and Teach, I feel so bad for Kaido. This is what sent him down his path, ultimately. He has no idea what's going on. That's actually so true. Yeah, he's still young, right? He's still let's see, 38 years ago. How old is Kaido? He's 55 off the top of my head, I want to say. Definitely mid-50, 59. So he's 21 here, so he's still pretty young. So yeah, he's probably like, what in the world's going on, guys? Like, I have no idea. I just saw my captain turn into a demon in front of me, and now he's attacking me. What? Like, imagine... Like, this isn't the best parallel, but imagine Chopper. Like, imagine Luffy gets turned into a demon, and he goes and attacks Chopper. It's different, but Chopper just wouldn't know what's going on, right? Chopper would be distraught, like, oh my god, Luffy's evil now, like, what's gonna happen? Because he's so gullible. I feel like it's maybe a little bit of a similar thing, at least for right now, where he's like, bro, wait, what? My captain's doing this? But again, Chopper is, like, obscenely gullible, so it's not the exact same, but it is interesting. And then I wonder, you know, going back to Kaido's line about how, like, when pirates know you'll lose, they betray you or they turn their back on you or whatever. Like, I wonder if... Because it's an interesting situation now, right? It's like, this isn't a typical betrayal scenario. It's different, but I wonder how that ties into what he said. Like, is it because Rox did this? Is it because, like, is it because of Shiki and Captain John and all them trying to steal everything? I don't know exactly. Maybe all of it, but I don't know. It is very interesting. Kuya Pixels with the $2. My guy. Absolute Cinema. 11 out of 10 chapter. Rox is him. I agree. This will be I said it last week. This will be a movie. Like, it felt like a movie, but whenever the anime comes out for this, it'll be a movie. And honestly, as I've been saying, they just make God Valley a movie at this point, Oda. Like, just turn these 10 or 11 chapters of God Valley into a movie. We will line up at I will be there at midnight to watch that movie release, right? I will... If it's not released at midnight in my locale, I will drive to another locale and go and see it at midnight. You know what I mean? If it's got, even though I already know the events, but even if it does just go in the anime, it's still gonna feel like a movie. Like this kind of stuff. This is, like I said, it's the magnum opus within the magnum opus for sure. Jovial Grace with the $2. I'd pay top dollar. Look at this. Perfect timing. Jovial Grace knows what I'm cooking. I'd pay top dollar to see this as a movie. That is what I'm saying. Like, because I get that people who don't, like, I get why people don't want canon movies sometimes, because it's like, oh, you're going to have to, you know, like, usually we just binge the anime at home on Crunchyroll, and we don't have to go leave and do anything to go get the full story. But if they do this, where, like, it's released in the manga separately, and then they just make a movie just for this set of chapters, and then after 3 or 4 months, they can put it on Crunchyroll, or maybe, like, 6, I don't know how long it takes, but eventually they put the movies on Crunchyroll. I think this would be worth it. I think this is something that the anime fans would be pumped for. The manga people would already know, you know, like, what happens, so, like, they wouldn't be obligated to go, but they could still go and just see how cool it is, but it's not like they have to go. So I think this is a really good middle ground. Like, instead of releasing anime episodes, just go and make it a movie. Because the point of the anime is to adapt the manga and basically make more money, right? That's really the reason. They can put commercials and stuff on the show. They want to make more money. I'm just telling you, Toei, Shueisha, Oda, if you turn this into a movie, man, you're gonna be swimming in cash. Not that you're not already, to be fair. You already are, but we also saw the anime is taking a break, right? Like, they're gonna start having, like, 26 episodes a year or whatever. So I feel like it's perfect time to think about some movie potential to, like, take a little bit of the load off, like, maybe get a different team to do those or something. I don't know, but either way, it's peak. This is so peak. Bushido with 2 super chats back to back. Do you think Zoro and or Sanji get reversied, and then also 10 out of 10 for the cover alone? Yeah, if you're a Carrot fan, this is the best cover page that we've had in a while. Although Carrot's been on some of the other ones, but this is, you know, Rabbit focused for sure for the Carrot fans. As far as Zoro and Sanji getting reversied, I mean, if I was Oda, I would have the entire crew get reversied and then show how they each manifested it differently. It could also maybe be a way to show some of the weaker members, like, hey, you could be strong if you just, you know, acted differently, I guess, or like, you know, you have the potential in you kind of thing. Now I'm sure this obviously powers people up too, but I think that would be kind of the point, is like, imagine like Chopper or Nami with, I mean, they already can be strong in certain contexts, but if they got turned into legit demons and were like hunting people down, like that would be a whole new look for them, you know, to be menacing in that way. And so if I was Oda, I would have everyone get Reversi because it'd be cool. Like no other reason than that. Usually when we go into like an arc with weird powers, at least a few of the crew members get affected. Like think back to Thriller Bark, which my last video was all about. In Thriller Bark, you know, we had Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy zombies, right? And so that was pretty cool to see how their shadows kind of manifested in those zombies. You also think back to like Punk Hazard. Everyone had their personality swaps, so like we got to see what they were all like in different bodies. Like Oda likes, you know, using the Straw Hats as like a medium to show how the powers work in certain ways. So I think for sure, like that at least a handful of crew members will. Zoro and Sanji specifically, I mean, those would be two of the most appealing people to do it with. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe Usopp doesn't get transformed because this is how he becomes a brave warrior. Like I could see that, but Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy seem like the top three you would want to see get Reversi because it'd be cool. Now, do we actually want them to be evil and hurt their friends? No, so there'd have to be some way to stop them, but I think it'd be cool. So it'll probably happen, I think. Barnacle Boy 127 with a $5 super chat. I'm usually a Blackbeard for final villain guy, but since Rox is essentially just a good guy for all intents and purposes, I'm seriously reconsidering. I mean, it's tough because like with this line from Emu about like you know, you're very similar, like thy current deposition is quite similar. I think that's pretty interesting because it does make us think like, okay, maybe Rox, you know, is like an okay guy. Now, Rox also cut down Loki twice when he was just a kid. He cheated on the Davy backfight battles, or at least that's what it looks like from the images we saw. I think there's a couple other things I just can't think of off the top of my head. So like he's not perfect by any means, right? But he does seem to be better than Emu and maybe good on aggregate. Now, Blackbeard killed his crewmate for that devil fruit, right? So that's like immediately he's done something pretty bad. And it's funny, you go look at like whenever he fought Ace or whenever he, you know, went after Boa and stuff like that. Like that's bad, but I don't know if that is necessarily as bad as the Thatch thing. Because like for Ace was going after Blackbeard. Like, yes, it's good that Ace went and got revenge for his friend and everything. But just from Blackbeard's perspective, like, he wasn't even out there trying to get Ace. He was actually trying to get Luffy. And Ace came there instead, right? And so it's like Blackbeard's going to defend himself, kind of, even though he's a bad person. And then you also think, like I said, Boa. It's like, I mean, Boa was a warlord. Boa's not, like, a great person either. So it's like, that's just pirate on pirate stuff. So, like, a lot of the stuff Blackbeard has done isn't really that bad other than the Thatch thing. But that is so bad that I don't know. But then again, you could maybe reason that Blackbeard knew, like, hey, I really don't want to hurt my crewmate, but I want to make the future better, and I need this fruit to do it, so I'm willing to make that sacrifice. Which, like, it's funny to even put it that way because he's sacrificing someone else, but you know what I mean. Like, he'll cross that line. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think where we're going is that Blackbeard is going to get Emu's powers, or maybe Emu will take over Blackbeard. I think I'd like that less than the reverse, but I will say Oda's doing a great job at making the final villain, like, hard to kind of detect, like, because Emu seems so important. It's like, is Blackbeard literally just going to waltz in and cook Emu and take the powers, or does he have something else in store that's even crazier? You know, he's doing a really good job of kind of masking where this is all going, so. And maybe it'll just be a three-way battle where it's Blackbeard and Luffy and Emu. Like, for example, is it possible that... Actually, hold on. No. Now that I'm thinking of it, now that we know Roger and Garp teamed up against Domi Reversi Rocks, I feel like this parallel is building up to a point where it's going to be Luffy and Kobe versus Domi Reversi Blackbeard. Now, maybe it's not Domi Reversi Blackbeard. Maybe it's like Blackbeard with Emu's powers version. Like, it might be similar where Blackbeard gets the evil wings and stuff, but maybe he's not actually controlled. Not exactly sure, but I feel like that might be where this is all going, is that it's going to be Luffy and Kobe, because that's Roger and Garp of the new era, right? I don't know. I've been like, I feel like that theory's been around for a long time that they'll fulfill that parallel. But now that we know that they actually fought against like evil version of Rocks, they're probably gonna fight like demonic version of Blackbeard kind of thing, right? Maybe that'll be the video that I do, because I've been thinking about what video I'm gonna do on this chapter, because these chapters are just too hyped to like not do videos on them. But I got to do it quick. Maybe that's what I'll do. Is it'll be Kobe and Luffy versus Blackbeard. Maybe I don't know, maybe I'll draw the thumbnail just like that. I don't know. But Domi Reversi'd Blackbeard will be a good guy. Imagine Blackbeard gets Domi Reversi'd and he comes out like an angel. Like he has angel wings, like Birkin wings, I'm guessing, was what they probably look like, which that's a whole other thing, by the way. I might be doing a Burka video soon, because there's this video, I mentioned it earlier, that I'm doing about like people who are children of God's Knights. And while I was doing that, I got a lot of Burka theory material that came out of there. So that might be a whole separate thing. But either way, that would be kind of crazy if Blackbeard getting Domi Reversi'd was like an angelic Blackbeard. That's actually wild. I don't know how, like, I love it. I don't know if it'll happen, but I kind of hope it does. That'd be very cool. K Raven with the $10 super chat. I appreciate you. With Rox's Abyss move in dialogue this chapter, I'm thinking Davy Jones discovered Emu in the Abyss and made a promise with freeing them. I believe Brook and Gunko were targeted like Rox, and Gunko turned to slavery. So I like what you're saying about Davy Jones discovered Emu in the Abyss, because I feel like the story is definitely going to a point to where Emu, maybe not Nerona Emu the original, but this, like, wherever the demonic powers of Emu are coming from, or maybe just Mu in general, because Nerona Emu and Mu might be two different entities. So I think you're probably cooking that maybe Davy Jones or Joy Boy or whoever was able to actually go to the Abyss, aka the underworld, found this demonic creature, this demon. Maybe they weren't even a demon originally. I don't know. There's probably a cool story there. But they actually went there and freed them in some way, and that's where this starts. I think that's a very likely situation at this point. Like, and what that also makes me think is that we are going to go to the underworld, which is something, if you watch my last couple of videos, I think that's probably going to happen at this point. Like, Brook's already been there. This is a big Brook arc so far. Like, this pentagram circle's tied to it. It's like they're gateways to it. I like that. That Davy Jones went in there. Like, what if Emu, like, or Mu, I should say. I should start delineating them. What if Mu, like, unfairly got sent to the underworld? Like, what if Mu shouldn't have been dead yet and got sent there, and then Davy Jones is like, well, that doesn't seem fair. I'll bring you back. But then Mu is like actually this evil thing. I don't know, something like that. I think that's definitely going to be it. Some way, shape, or form, I'm pretty confident that Oda is going to make us feel bad for Emu in some way. Not that Emu is going to get exonerated, not that anything Emu's doing is okay, but I do think the origin, we're going to at least have some moments where we're like, dang, all right, like, Emu didn't deserve that. Like, maybe they deserve it today after everything else they've done, but back then they may not have deserved it. A little bit like Doflamingo when he was a kid and he was like tied up to the wall and there's fire everywhere and all that stuff. Like the Celestial Dragons deserve that, but maybe he necessarily didn't because he didn't really, commit all those crimes yet. Something like that, I think, has to happen for Emu. And then you also mentioned, I believe Brook and Gunko were targeted like Rocks, and then Gunko turned to slavery. Yeah, I think, and actually I bring this up in my God's Night video that I'm working on too, but I think basically what Garling did here at God Valley, as far as like visiting here 2 years beforehand, having a kid, and then coming back and taking the kid back when they cleansed it, that same thing, maybe not with Garling, but that same thing happened with Brook, I think, where like a God's Night visited Brook's Island, and then, had Gunko, then came back a couple years later, cleansed the place, and took Gunko back, right? I think the God's Knights probably have done this a million times. They probably do it every 3 years, if not even with more islands, because, like, again, this is another thing I bring up in the video, but, like, whenever Garling went and visited God Valley, that's probably not the only island that he visited, right? He probably went to he probably scoped out like 3 to 5 islands. I'm picking a random number, but maybe he scoped out 3 to 5 islands because he's trying to pick one for the cleansing, right? So he probably went and scoped out several islands, gave them all the same offer. Hey, join the government or we're going to come back and cleanse you, which I don't know if he actually would have threatened that back then, but either way, he's given them the offer to join, and if they do, they won't get cleansed. And I'm guessing that they did this routinely, and that's a lot of opportunities to have more kids and to get more God's Knights and to maybe not go back and get those kids. So, like, I don't know. I think Brooks, basically, long story short, Brooks Island went through the same thing as God Valley, I'm thinking. Same, like Gunko. Gunko is Shamrock. Brook is probably like Dragon, but probably a little bit different because Brook would have worked for that island and Dragon's a Marine, but I think the parallels are all set up for sure. Mr. Bushido, I think. Yep, with the $2. SBS Queen confirmed Frankie's dad. And Jinbei's junk is blue. That sounds like something Oda would put in SBS. Why am I not surprised that's in there? And then it's cool that they confirmed Frankie's or Queen is Frankie's dad. I mean, I feel like we all kind of knew that already. Like it kind of already implied it, but hey, I'm glad we got the absolute confirmation. That's good. It would have been very concerning if we didn't get that confirmation. Mr. Bushido, I read that one. I see you have another one, but I'm gonna do these other ones first. Isaac, my guy, with the $5. I think Emu will be defeated this arc by Luffy and Elbaf, and then teach in the Holy Land to fulfill the promise. Next arc will be to fill the empty seat. I like that idea. I guess my thought is I don't know if it'll be this arc because like we're just now getting the Emu info. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of like if this arc, if Emu sticks around for a really long time and we get enough flashbacks, maybe. But I feel like we're still learning about Emu, and just from like Oda's perspective, I don't know if he would like get rid of Emu this quickly. But I do think by the end, that's probably what it'll be, is that Emu, before the end, Emu will get out of the picture, and it'll be a Luffy versus Blackbeard thing. I think that's like with how he's building up Emu, it's a little bit hard to imagine, you know, like Emu being out of the picture before the end, just because like, I don't know, like, I mean, not only have they ruled the world for 800 years, but all this Davy Jones stuff, the Fearing Joy Boy thing, like, there's so much for us to learn. But like I was saying earlier, maybe Blackbeard will take Emu's powers or Moo's powers, so like Emu will not be a threat anymore. I'm not sure how he's going to weave it together, but I don't know if it'll be this arc, but I do think by the end there is going to be that war to fill the empty seat. And while Luffy will win the biggest battles, I feel like Buggy is destined to fill that empty seat. I don't know if you guys disagree, but I mean, there's been theories for a long time that he'll be the one to sit on the empty throne. And I don't know. I can see a thing now where like Emu's out of the picture. It's Luffy versus Blackbeard for all the marbles. They're fighting. And halfway through, Buggy finds the empty throne and sits on it. And they look over and they're like, really? Like this guy? And I don't know. There's going to be some crazy... Then maybe it'll jump to another flashback where maybe Luffy, Blackbeard, and Buggy, maybe their ancestors are the Emu, Joy Boy, and Davy Jones or something. Like, I don't know how Oda's going to do it. But he's going to get Buggy in there, man. That's the one thing I am so sold on. Buggy... He has to get in there in some way, shape, or form. He's not gonna be able to box with those guys, but he's gonna get in there and cause some mayhem, some Buggy mayhem. Big Cheap member for 25 months. My guy. It's wild to see Garp's reaction to all this. Young Garp is impressionable. He's still learning about the world. Old Garp is so careless compared to his past self. Very true. That, like, I don't know if I will do it, but I think it would be very smart for a One Piece creator to go make a video on, like, the morality of Garp and just talk about this God Valley thing. Because I agree, he's very impressionable, right? Like, Garp is still very clearly learning a lot about the world. He does not know, he doesn't have all the answers that he has now. He probably doesn't even have all the answers even in his old age, but he obviously has more answers in his old age. But back then, you can see, like, every kind of passing moment, he's like, well, this doesn't seem right. This isn't okay. This isn't what I was told. I didn't know this was happening. Like, we're seeing him in real time learn a lot of things. And it also tells us that Marines in general are probably kept in the dark on a lot of this, because if Garp doesn't know at this stage where he's a vice admiral, probably one of the strongest Marines in general, because Sengoku called Garp and is like, hey, Roger's going over there, you want to help? Like, Garp's already a top tier amongst the Marines, and if he is unaware of a lot of this, obviously the rest of the Marines are going to be as well, except for the super high ranking ones. And so I think they're like, I would definitely watch a video on all of that for sure. And then you think about old Garp, like, he is careless, but he's careless in the way where he's careless about himself. You know what I mean? And it goes back to that lesson where he was talking to Kobe, and he was like, hey, if your boat can only save 2 people and there's an old man, a baby, and you, who do you save? And Kobe's like, I'll save the old man and the baby and I'll figure my own way out. And Garp's like, no, like, you save yourself and the baby, you leave the geezer behind. That Garp's talking about himself, right? Like that was a parallel for what happened later in Hachinosu. That was kind of Garp's message, is like he's thinking, I'm an old man, I'm not going to be leading the next era, don't worry about me. Like, he was trying to, invoke that message. And so it is kind of just interesting how just Garp's kind of like the way he viewed the world and the way he kind of views justice and all that has changed. So I agree. Like I said, somebody should do a video on that. I think that'd be an awesome video. Mr. Bushido, with the €2. Notice Rock's never aged in this flashback. He hasn't, but I also think, like, let's say he was like mid-20s maybe whenever he visited the Holy Land, like, because that's the oldest timestamp we have for him, right? 56 years ago. It's only been 18 years since then, and if he was mid-20s and now he's like mid to early 40s, I don't know if there would be a lot of change. So I don't know if I would read into it too far, but you are right. He doesn't look any different really than the beginning, but this might just be, covering his prime, essentially late 20s to mid 40s range, which I think is kind of your prime, at least for One Piece. I mean, if you're talking honestly, and a lot of things it is, like, maybe not basketball. If you're talking basketball, you're talking like mid 20s to mid 30s maybe, but for a lot of people that's roughly their prime. So maybe he just wouldn't look that different. I don't know. Juvial Grace with the $5. Really hope they don't reuse the same sound effects animating this. Yeah, I haven't watched the anime for a little while. I know I need to get caught up. I'm at the end of the Kuma flashback still. I've seen highlights. I know it's peak, but I'm gonna do a binge watch sometime soon. But I have heard about the complaints over the sound effects, how they're just recycling old ones. Kind of, or old ones and even ones that sound similar to other anime and stuff, right? Which is disappointing. But hey, maybe that's part of why the anime is taking a break now, they're taking a little bit of a break and then doing bi-weekly episodes or whatever. So hopefully they update that, at least by the time they get here, or like we were saying, they can just make it a movie. I think that, like, Oda, Shueisha, Toei, if you guys want to make a bunch of money, just turn this into a movie. It's the easiest check you'll ever cash. Mr. Bushido, you said Charlos's family name is Rosward, best SBS. Hold on, wasn't... Wait, so that's his family name is Rosward, but that's his dad's name. But is it that his dad's name isn't actually Saint Rosward, it's Saint Rosward something, and they just didn't finish it? Is that what the SBS said? Because like this whole time his dad's been called Rosward or Roswald, and if that's the family name, then that's interesting. So what's his? It's not Rosward, right? Yeah, the joke is that the family's dumb enough to name him Rosward. Dude, no way. No way. Dude, no way. Is that actually what they did? That's hilarious if so. His name is Rosward. Oh my god. Oh, dude. That's hilarious, but like also so dumb, right? Like hey, you know what? Oda got a chuckle out of me, so it works. That's what are we doing? Like, that is, I don't know. It, given who his child is, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but that just, I don't know. That's funny. That's funny. Terrible TJ, member for 31 months. You said like D-Stream. TJ, I hope you're doing well, my man. Thank you very much. One of the day one homies for sure. If you guys would like D-Stream, actually it says we're at 99 likes. So if you guys would not mind getting that to 100, that'd be awesome. One of you guys. But maybe it is past 100 and mine's just not updating. But it says 99 right now. But thank you very much, TJ. I appreciate you. Bushido, you also said, join the Discord, join the Rabbit Gang. So do the first one. Do the first one. You can join the Discord. Rabbit Gang, that's up to you. You know, I don't know if my Discord is the place for you. But you know, I would recommend joining it though. It for sure. We're almost at 1,000 people, which is awesome. But yeah, so much good One Piece discussion in there, and there's even sometimes where I just go into the Discord and like I'll be working on a video and I'll have a question and I'll just be like, all right guys, I really need this question answered, and you guys always give me like such good responses. So that is definitely the place to go if you want to hear some good One Piece theories for sure. Kuya Pixels with the $5. It's interesting how Rox doesn't necessarily embrace his newfound powers. I wondered if some demonic contract was signed with Imu for immortality. Well, it's really interesting because whenever Dorian Buggy got flipped by Domi Reversi, Imu literally said like demonic contract something. I forget what the attack name was or whatever, but Imu said demonic contract. And so, I think it's a little weird because like usually whenever there's a contract, it's like both sides have to agree. And so even if it's like, I'm going to control you and force you to agree to the contract, kind of like we saw with Sugar and stuff, like that's fine. But it's like, I don't know, it's more just like taking orders in general, like less of a contract and more just they have to listen. But what's interesting about it is Rox did not get turned with the circle, right? There was no demonic contract stuff. It was just like Imu stabbed Rox in the chest and he just got turned evil, right? Like I think it's different. And I don't know what that necessarily means. Like, is it because Imu isn't in somebody? Well, Imu is in Saturn's body, but maybe Saturn's body is different than Gunko's. But maybe when Imu's in a God's Knight's body, they have to use the circles. But when Imu's in a Gorosei body, they can just do it directly. I don't really know, but it is interesting. And yeah, like the way that Rox fought back at first, I feel like it's very telling because like even here where he's crying at the end, I think we're going to see a situation later where like Dory and Buggy are going to be very upset with what's happening. Like their words might be that like, oh yeah, let's go kill Jarl and whatever. But in their mind, they're probably thinking like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And I think the kids might be going through the same thing. Cause you know how like Killingham like forced them to go to sleep and now their nightmares are alive. I wonder if they're having nightmares right now. And just maybe like Rox is a little bit, but like his is probably even worse than a nightmare because it's real life, which I guess the kids are too, but you get what I mean. So I wonder if the kids are thinking the same thing, like someone please help, like I'm so scared because these things are coming after me. And I think if in their mind they got brave enough to fight back, the nightmares would go away. That's like kind of my headcanon on it. And I think that could be Usopp's role as well. And so maybe there's a play here with Domi Reversi as well, is like maybe there is some demon that's like striking fear into you or something, and like you just have to fight back, and maybe for some reason like you would think Rox of all people could, and he did a little bit. So I don't know. There's something there. There's an important story there for sure, and how this all works, I think. Let's see. Mr. Bushido, yep, with the $2 or €2. Blackbeard has a Reversi form inside that hurts Shanks' eye. I can agree with 100%. That I've been saying that for a long time, and I know a lot of other people have, but I think he already has the zone transformation. And I did a video a while ago before Domi Reversi saying that it's probably the same idea as the Gorosei transformations, because they have not been said to have devil fruits, yet they have zone transformations. And so I was like, maybe Blackbeard just has the same thing where he either tapped into the abyss or the underworld or whatever, or has some other dark magic stuff going on, but maybe he already has this transformation that doesn't even require a fruit, and then that's how he was able to hurt Shanks before he, was as strong as he is today, right? I think that, to me, that seems very likely. And now, is it a Reversi form? Is it the Gorosei? Is it some combination thereof? I mean, Reversi seems kind of likely now. Like, maybe he can Reversi himself, which is that's actually a pretty cool idea. He can Reversi himself, and maybe he practiced that because then if Emu reverses him, he can then unreversi it. And which is like, I don't even know if he would be able to control himself enough to do that, but maybe that's the logic. And so maybe whenever he was fighting Shanks, he's like, well, I have no other options. Let's just do this. And so and then I don't know how he got stopped after he transformed. I don't know if it's like, kind of like Sulong, how like, how like you can train it to master it. I don't know if he's been mastering it, but I think there's something there for sure. Let's see. Anthony Brewster with the Canadian $7. I appreciate you. I feel Rox talking to Roger and Garp at the end is the voice of all things. The way Roger holds his head is interesting. I agree with you. So, we had a similar kind of like telepathy thing with the Gorosei during Egghead. Oda used the same style speech bubble. That was literally, like they weren't actively talking. That was just telepathy or whatever. So I think this is the voice of all things. I think they're all using it, and this is like Rox's true voice coming out. Like, remember how during Wano, Momo and Law and maybe Kid, a couple people were like, oh, I can't hear Luffy's voice anymore. Clearly that wasn't just his voice, like the audible voice, like you're hearing me talk right now. That's his like life force voice, right? His spirit voice, whatever you want to call it. And I think that this is what it is. And I think what we're going to learn is that the only people who can communicate while Domi Reversi'd are those who can use the voice of all things. Or maybe another way to think of it is the only people who can hear them are those who have the voice of all things. So maybe when we get done with the flashback, Luffy will go up to where Emu is and hear like, oh wait, no, Dory and Brogy are crying. Like they're very concerned. They don't want to do this. And then maybe everyone else is like, no, they just said he's coming to kill Jarl. And he's like, well, I just heard him say he doesn't want to. And there's this cool little debate where it's like, okay, the real Brogy's in there. We got to go save him. Something like that I feel like is probably where this is going to go, And so maybe only the strongest people, or maybe it is only the strongest people can communicate, or maybe everyone can. I don't know. But either way, I think we're definitely going to see a similar thing from Luffy later. Because, like, you think back to, like, Fishman Island or Zoe, where Roger and Odin were able to hear the Sea Kings, and they were able to, they, like, both looked at Zunisha and were like, or they looked at the whale tree, I think, and said, like, something's looking at us. Like, they had a weird feeling, kind of like Luffy did while he was in both places. He heard the Sea Kings, and same thing, he was able to hear Zunisha and stuff. So I think it's a very similar thing. The way that Roger's holding his head is like, I want to say he did the same thing on the way to Fishman Island, like that same pose. I'm pretty sure he held his ears like that too. So yeah, I agree. That's definitely voice of all things for sure. And then TJ, I already read that one, so I think we're all caught up now. Oh wait, Friend Harper with the $3 super sticker with the I think that's a pair with the thumbs up. I appreciate you, Friend Harper. Oh, sorry, I just got a message. All right, we're good. Yeah. Well, thank you, Friend Harper. One of the goats of the channel for sure. I thought one of the messages I got is that I missed a super chat, but it wasn't. But if I did miss a super chat, somebody please let me know. But usually by now, somebody does let me know, so I think we're good. Anyway. What a crazy chapter, guys. We said at the beginning of the stream, but like One Piece fans are just eating on a whole different level right now. Like manga, anime, hopefully movie soon, live action. We are so spoiled. You know what I mean? Like this is crazy. Genuinely. Who would have thought that a lot of us did, but generally, who would have thought that One Piece fans or the One Piece fandom would become like this? I also mentioned it earlier, like the Straw Hat flag is being used in protests and rebellions and all that. Like I actually went to a protest a couple weeks ago and I found a handful of Straw Hat flags there. And I don't live in a place where I thought I would see any, but I went to a protest and I saw several and I went and befriended them, of course. Had to go and give them all a shout out for bringing the Straw Hat flag. So like, it's for me, like, looking back to like how I started watching in like 2016 or 2016, one of the two, and I just thought it was like a cool show. And I remember my friend told me like, yeah, like we're still not caught up, we're still not done, right? We still have a long ways to go till the end. And I'm like, oh, so I can get caught up and kind of like watch it as we reach the end. That's really cool. And that was like, I didn't know really what I was getting into, and now looking at where it's grown now, I'm like, bro, it could not be big. I mean, it could be bigger, but like it also couldn't, because like very few other fandoms have this many like layers to it. You know what I mean? It's insane. It's insane. Tosmorn, you said I was downtown with our Jolly Roger. I love it, man. That's awesome. That, like, I made friends with some of the people I met who brought the Jolly Rogers. Gone through the specifics, but I think that's the plan, is like, I don't know if some of us will cosplay, or if we're gonna bring, maybe we'll get like a really big flag. I don't know, but it's just like we just, it's amazing like how many flags are out there, and like I said, live action, anime, like trading card game, TCG. You know, like, I don't know if you guys have followed, like, and I don't even know if I would recommend getting too deep into this, but financially, the One Piece card market has absolutely exploded lately, and that's because the Pokemon card collectors have now moved over to One Piece card collecting, which is a blessing and a curse, because it's a curse because now product is really hard to find, and it's more expensive, and that sucks for sure for the players and the more casual collectors. But it's also a good thing in some respects, because that's just more money flowing into the hobby. That just makes it bigger, makes it a bigger phenomenon. You know, if people do have good cards, I mean, the prices go up, and that might help people too. But it's a blessing and a curse, like I said. But either way, it's like, it just goes to show how big One Piece has gotten. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's just, it's phenomenal when we're eating. That's all I got to say. Aaron, you said screw scalpers. Yeah, scalpers suck. Like, because like, I think there's layers to it, because scalpers are, you know, you're going to go to the store and buy it and immediately go to sell it. Like, you're buying it specifically to sell it at a higher price. You're just looking for arbitrage. That sucks. But you know, some people go and buy like they'll go and buy boxes, and then they hold them for a really long time. And I think that's a little bit different. I honestly want to do more of that, but it's too hard to find and too expensive for me to even try doing with a lot of it. But like, you know, there's layers to it, but the scalpers are definitely the worst. The scalpers are absolutely the worst. What was it? Dill Corey said nearly 30 years later, One Piece fandom still growing, getting bigger than it ever was. Yeah, that's really it, man. Like 30 years, but it's like, you know, a lot of things can stick around for 30 years, but like One Piece has like continually gotten better over the 30 years. And I think that's like pretty amazing. Like it's not like a series that's drawn out just to draw it out. It's like the story's really good and deserves the length. It's the fandom just keeps growing. Oda's taking full advantage of it, which I think is funny, because it's just like he knows how much money there is to be made, and that's why he's doing a lot of the things he's doing. But yeah, it's been amazing. I speak in the voice of cats. Me too, Tosmorn. Me too. The voice of our people, right there. I hear it pretty much every morning I wake up, because usually my cat Larry is laying on me somewhere, and I'll be like, all right, time to get up. And then he will meow in protest, and I have to meow back to calm him down. So I also speak that language. I understand. Dill Corey said, I've had great luck with pulls from boxes. That's you. I know you've been messaging me. You've gotten some big pulls, my guy. You've gotten some very big pulls. And speaking of, I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but I will be doing the next TCG giveaway for the members for PRB02, the best Volume 2. I'll be doing that. I want to say this weekend. It'll be the next 3 or 4 days. I just don't, it might be Monday. I got to kind of get ahead on this video, but anyone who signed up, that'll be happening. And then the next giveaway will be the 100K stream, because I got OP05, I got OP09, one box of each. I got I'll have OP13 for us. I'll have another PRB02. I got like all the best boxes, other than Romance Dawn, I guess. So got a lot of good boxes. Winbrin with the $2. You said Luffy used his voice when he was drowning in Wano. Yeah, definitely. Like, because remember, I think Momo for sure, Law I'm pretty sure, Kid maybe, and maybe like one other person. There's a handful of people who said like, I can't hear Luffy's voice anymore, which also implies they were hearing it the entire time, right? Like until he died or got sent into the ocean or Well, no, because they heard whenever he was falling in the ocean, that was a different thing. But whenever he died for a chapter, that's when those people were mentioning his voice, and that tells us that he was like they could hear it the whole time. So he's giving off that voice 24/7, I guess. I don't really know. But then, yeah, whenever he died, it went away, which was like the ultimate sign. Okay, he's not really there anymore because he died, just for a little bit, but. I think it is interesting because if you can hear someone's voice all the time, it's like going back to like kind of observation hockey or like detecting people's hockey and stuff. Does this mean that like everyone can detect Luffy's presence all the time? Is it because his voice is too loud or his hockey's too strong, or is there more to it? Is Luffy selective in who hears his voice? This seems like something Luffy would do. Where like the only people who can hear his voice are the people he wants to hear his voice. I feel like that's a Luffy thing. But either way, it is interesting because he's like, he had the voice on all the time. And now here we have Rocks using his voice, his extra voice, the voice of all things voice. And I don't know, I hope we get a little exposition on it. I think voice of all things is one of the coolest things that they introduced. Like, even going back, because we've had tons of examples of it, going back to even like the poneglyph that spoke to Roger, like, and people have said, like, is the breath of all things connected to the voice of all things? I think there's probably some connection. Are they the same? I don't really know, but I think it's one of the coolest things Oda's done, so hopefully we get some more answers. Lucas C, member for 33 months. My guy, almost 3 years. That's crazy. The Legend Dak, like the stream, bro. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for always supporting the channel. I can't believe it's almost been 3 years, man. And I don't know if you were here earlier. I don't know if you saw, but we did hit 100K, my guy. You've been around since day one. You've been around since like 1K subscribers. And now we're here at 100. I can hardly believe it. So I was saying this earlier too, but there's going to be a giveaway stream once I get the play button. So hopefully it's a couple weeks. I don't know, but there'll be some more giveaway opportunities. A lot of TCG cards, of course, will be given away. I got a Laboon plushie. I got another One Piece plushie. I'm trying to think. I got a couple other things. I can't even remember anymore, but yeah, lot of stuff. So appreciate you, man. Appreciate all of you for supporting the channel this whole time. Seriously, means a lot. I'm like so lucky to do this as a job, basically. I mean, I did have another job adjacent to this, but now I don't. So this is actually my only job right now. So other than like occasional volunteering, I'm trying to do more because like I got some time. But yeah, seriously, appreciate you guys. It means a lot. I'm super lucky for sure. Tiny Angry Gnome, you said, what do you think of the idea that Davy was like Buggy and sat on the empty throne for a brief moment? Hence what Emu said about Davy never being king. If Buggy does sit on the empty throne, I love that. That's awesome, actually. So like Davy / Buggy like kind of faked it, and now the question there would be like, well, is Buggy related to Davy Jones? Which is possible, but that would mean we got to go back to the Rocks thing. And I was actually talking to Kev DOG about this the other day, and nobody messaged him about this because he's not going to read the chapter for like 4 more days or 3 more days. But either way, I was talking to him about this where I'm like, what if, and you know what, maybe yeah, I will mention, I was gonna not say it, but I'm already too far, and I kind of do want some people's feedback on this. What if Garling is both Shanks and Buggy's dad? Like, what if Garling had visited multiple islands, like I was saying earlier? Like, he didn't just visit God Valley, he visited another island, and this is why Buggy and Shanks are both 39 years old. And then who would Buggy's mom be? Well, what if it's Rox's sister? Now, we don't know Rox has a sister. We're kind of reaching here, but what if that's the connection? So Buggy is related to Rox. He's just not Rox's son. He's like Rox's nephew, essentially. But he could be Garling's son, which would then that would make Shanks and Buggy half brothers, and that's why, like I said, that's why they're the same age. I don't know, but I don't know. Buggy being half Davy, half Garling, or half Garland, and then that makes him Shanks's half brother. And now another thing, if we're gonna get really crazy, is that, yeah, Dilcor, I was about to mention this. This is gonna sound extra crazy. I'm not saying this is true. It's just some food for thought. Enel is also 39 years old. He was born the very same year as Buggy and Shanks. And you think to Enel, what do we think about Enel? The first thing, whenever we hear his name, he was a god. There's a lot of Emu parallels. He lived in the sky. He destroyed islands, right? He subjugated entire islands and made them work for him. Sounds like a god's knight kind of thing, you know? Also, guess what? The god before and after Enel, because it was the same person, dressed up as a knight while they were fighting him. Oh, and guess what? We also heard that a sky knight fought Enel while he was taking down Burka. So we have Enel tied to gods, lives in the sky, tied to knights. Could Enel also be Garling's kid? I don't know. Mantra, yeah, he also had hockey. Like, he also had this island-wide observation hockey that's a lot like the Gorosei have. I don't know. Is Garling, Buggy, and Shanks, and Enel's dad? That seems kind of crazy, but they're all born 39 years ago. They all have their own reasons to fit into the God's Night kind of theme. I don't know, man. I don't think it's impossible. I don't know if I'm ever going to do a full video on that, but I do bring it up in a video that I'm working on. And it's one of those things where now that I've thought of it, it can't leave my brain. But listen, man. Enel being Shanks' half-brother, Buggy being Enel's half-brother. I don't know, man. I think it would just be fun. It's a little much, but it's kind of crazy to think about. That's all. So being an a-hole is genetic then? At least being kind of godly, I would say. Because you think back to Buggy, what's Buggy's other thing that he really cares about? Treasure, like getting a lot of treasure. And then you think back to Shanks, who crawled towards that treasure chest because, there was all like that gold in there. So, okay, so Celestial Dragon kids like treasure, apparently. And that actually pairs well with some other things we've seen. Because Bonnie is the child of a Celestial Dragon, maybe a God's Knight, specifically because of Garling and or Shamrock, whichever one's her dad, if that theory is true. Well, her name is literally Jewelry Bonnie. And yes, it's because of the sapphires, but thematically, I think it still counts, right? She did come to like really appreciate the sapphires because of Kuma. And so you think back to Buggy, who also wants treasure. I'm just like, is there... I don't know, man. Maybe they're all related. I don't know. God complex. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like God complex, wanting riches, which that's another thing. Think about Nami. Nami loves treasure and riches. Her island got attacked. We don't know how, but Marines were there. Marines were here at God Valley. Is she also related to them? I mean, look, man. Tune in for that video whenever it drops. It won't be this weekend, even though it's ready, which is a good sign because now we're ahead on videos. Dilcor and I and the rest of the team are ahead for like the first time ever on videos. But I think I need to do a chapter video on this. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if Enel is going to be related to them, but the fact they're all 39 and Foxy is 38. I don't know if he could fit in here too, but also, what's his name? Hyozo, I think is his name. From Fishman Island. Yeah, so the swordsman Fishman guy, the octopus merman that was a pretty good swordsman in Fishman Island, he was also born 39 years ago. That's a swordsman who's a pretty bad guy. I don't know. I doubt he's related to him, but all these 39-year-olds need to be looked at with a fine-tooth comb, in my opinion. We're so far ahead, the chat wouldn't even believe how far ahead we are. Yeah, like, we have almost 2 videos like, one's almost completely done, and then one is, like, halfway done. But either way, we're ahead, which is, like, pretty crazy. If you're wrong, then I don't want to be right. It's one of those theories where it's, like, it sounds crazy. If I'm being honest, it's probably not true. But the implications are just so awesome, I can't help but get excited about it, Yeah, and traits are carried by lineage factor in the series. Exactly. You think back to Boa and her clone, right? Both liking Luffy. Like, even Vegapunk was like, whoa, wait, I didn't know this carried forward or whatever. So I that might be where we're going at. Like, all the people that have a god complex or really like treasure or are just absurdly strong with, like, vague origins, they might just all be God's Knights or related to God's Knights. They're not actually them, but you know what I mean. But all right, guys, I think we're only at an hour and a half. See, I thought it was even longer, but I know we had the stream issues earlier, and I don't know if that messed with it. But either way, I think we're all caught up here. We are, I believe. I'm gonna double check Discord. All right, cool. Nobody told me I missed anything. So, without further ado, I'm gonna wrap up the stream here. But be on the lookout for a video on this chapter. I think I'm gonna be doing one. I'm gonna get working on it ASAP, and hopefully I'll be able to. I did well last week. I got it out on time, just barely. So, but yeah. So thank you guys as always. Thank you guys again for 100K. I think that is, again, it's a insane milestone for me. But hopefully it's just the first of many. Maybe this is just the beginning. You never know. But thank you guys as always. We will be back next week, bare minimum, with another chapter. And there will be a video out this weekend. I just don't know if it'll be this chapter, I guess is what I should say. Because that's the point of me and Dilkor having backup videos. Well, they're not even really backup videos. They're just videos that I wanted to do, but then the chapters were hype, and so whatever. But now we have enough videos where I can start having videos at least once a week, every week, which is the point. So we will have one this weekend, probably on this chapter, but if not, it'll be that God's Night video I keep referencing. Which is a really good one. I think you guys are really gonna like that one. Honestly, it's a video that I'm surprised nobody else has done. I'll put it. I've been looking like every week, like please nobody else do it. I saw Morge did a video about future God's Nights, and that's similar but not the same as this one. And I feel like this one, like, it hits on a lot of the same kind of tropes that he talked about, or what the other future God's Nights videos that are out there have talked about. But this one, you guys are gonna like it. But either way, it'll be one of the two videos this week. But thank you guys as always. Appreciate you. I hope you guys have a great weekend also. Be safe. If you're going out trick-or-treating, either for yourself or taking your kids out,